What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about data types in Java. So let's get right into it. As you can see right here, we're just starting off with our main method that we created last video. And you see I have some words typed in here. These are just comments. Basically, if you want to type a comment, all you do is I can just delete this one and redo it. You need 2 slashes, and then you can just type in whatever you want, and this is basically ignored by the compiler, so this is not going to do anything in your code. If you run it right now, you can see nothing is going to happen because we're not outputting anything. But let's get into data types. There are a few different types of variables that you can use in Java. The first one is an integer, and we can just name this this is an int. Alright, so basically how variables work is you first type the type of variable, so this is an int, then you give a variable name, and then you can either keep it like this or automatically assign it to something, like right whenever you're typing this. So you can assign it right now, so we can just set this equal to 4. Basically, integers are just numbers that do not have a decimal at the end, so this variable cannot have any decimal points. There are a few more types that don't have decimals. So this is a short, and basically it is the same thing as an int, except an int has a wider array of numbers that it can be. So then we can do one more, and then this will be a long, and this can just be this is basically the same thing as an int, except it has more memory, so it can be a bigger number. So now what we can do is go on to decimal types. So this one is a float, and just set that equal to 3.14. And whenever you're declaring floats, you have to put this f right here. So this is just a number, except there's a decimal point at the end. But that is only precise to, I think, 6 or 7 decimal places. So if you want something that is more precise, you can use a double. And then this can be more precise to more digits. And you still need the f at the end of a double. Now we can get to characters and strings, so we can start off with a char. And a char just uses these single quotes right here, and it's just a letter. And a string, if you guys notice that every one of these starts with a lowercase letter, except for string. String starts with an uppercase letter. I will talk about that in a later video, but it's basically because a string technically isn't a data type, it's technically an object, but it is still used as a variable. But you can put anything you want into these double quotes, so we can just do our hello world program that we had yesterday. And then finally we have a Boolean variable, so we can do Boolean and this is either true or false. So as you can see, all this is underlined, and that's just because I'm not using it right now. Like, I don't have code down here manipulating any of this. But what you can do is we can manipulate some of these later into our program, and well, these lines will go away. These are not important lines. Like, we can still run this and nothing's wrong with it, just nothing happens right now. One thing I do want to touch on is camel casing. Basically, camel casing is just a common practice used for variable names. As you can see, the first letter is lowercase, but then every first letter in a word after that is capital. So that is just a common way to name variables. Another thing is you cannot have numbers at the beginning of your variable name. You can have them at the end of your variable name or in the middle of it, but it cannot be the first thing in the variable name. I think that is basically it with naming variables. So now if we want to come down here, we can do system.out.println, and in here we can just put this as a string, save that, and run it, and we get hello world. Basically, if you wanted to, we can do something a little different right now. So if we do this, we can have int a equal 3, b equal to 4. That is also something else you can do with naming them. You can have them all in the same line. So a and b are both going to be of type int, which is just a number without a decimal. So then we can also have int sum, which is equal to a plus b. And just always remember the ending of these lines is a semicolon. And then in here we can print out sum, and then run that, and we get 7. So whenever you're using variables to print them out, you don't have them in quotation marks. This will literally just print out the word sum, but something you can do is put a little semicolon there, and then a plus sign, and then sum. And then now when you run that, you get sum is 7. So whenever you want to combine different things, you just use this little plus sign right here. So we can do then you can do, just give it a few spaces, add it, and then do a, then give it a few more spaces, plus, and then give it a few more spaces, and then one more plus, and then b. Then now, do I have one too many? Oh, one right there. So here you can see we print out 7, and then it's just 3 plus 4, which is what we did out here. This is obviously, this is not how you would normally format this, but this is just showing you how different variable types are being used. We can do one more example with floats. So now we'll just get float a is equal to 3.14 f. Don't forget the f at the end of your floating points. And then you can do float b is equal to 7.05 f. And then float, you can do a times b is equal to a times b, and then you can just print out in here a times b, and then print that out, 22.17, so, or 1370001. But that is just a basic introduction to data types in Java. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like. Devlog video is coming out soon this week. Sorry it was so late. I've had a very busy week with school, but actually got some pretty cool work done on the project. So I will see you guys later this week in that video. Bye.